In the southern Donetsk direction, operators of the 2nd Assault Battalion of the 79th Independent Airborne Brigade destroyed basements, strongholds, and temporary deployment points where infantry of the armed forces of Ukraine were located. Drones loaded with powerful ammunition destroy everything in their path. Don't forget to leave your thoughts about the drones in the comments. Drone operators of the Southern Forces Group destroyed motorcyclists of the armed forces of Ukraine. Ukrainian armed forces soldiers under fire from Russian artillery in a forest in Kharkiv region.
375.
Images of Ukrainian armed forces soldiers.
Снимаемся, блядь!
The temporary deployment point of the Ukrainian armed forces was destroyed by a powerful Russian FPV drone with heavy ammunition. Airborne Forces assault troops use combat tactics while attacking settlements in the border areas of the Kursk region.
Давай, дальше еще. Заходи, сарай!
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
In the Kursk border region, Russian attack drones are waiting by the roadside for an attack. It notices a vehicle coming down the road and accelerates and flies over it. Another vehicle was spotted coming on the same road, and the Russian drone hit it with a powerful strike. The footage shows the attack of the Iskander missile defense system against a camouflaged position of the HIMARS MLRS of the armed forces of Ukraine near the settlement of Novonikolayevka. A kamikaze drone belonging to the center group visited the hiding place of the 151st Omber of the infantry of the armed forces of Ukraine. The drone landed after flying a little over the ditch. Russian armed forces are attacking in the Kursk region. Russian troops destroyed a temporary bridge built by Ukrainian engineering troops in the Guevo region. The Russians continue to cut the logistics of the Ukrainian armed forces. This is now the main problem for the AFU in the Kursk region. Soldiers of the Russian armed forces destroy shells and anti-tank mines that appear after the snow melts. FPV drones are a huge threat to soldiers on the front line because you don't know when and where the drone will come from. It can show up at any moment and you may not understand anything. Russian soldiers dodged a Ukrainian attack drone at the last second. One by one, the artillery of the 29th Army of the Eastern Group is destroying the temporary deployment points, fortresses, and basements detected in the southern Donetsk direction.
Выстрел!
A UAV checkpoint of the Ukrainian armed forces was detected in the direction of Kharkiv. The personnel left the tent and put the drone on the ground. Then he returned to his tent and flew the reconnaissance drone. However, the personnel did not realize that they were being watched by Russian drones. The coordinates were quickly calculated and recorded. The information was then relayed to the attack drone operators, and the drone, loaded with heavy ammunition, took off. The drone slowly approached the tent, and that was that. North Korean reconnaissance revealed a convoy of armored vehicles of the Ukrainian armed forces in the border area. The coordinates were then calculated, and both artillery and drone operators were notified, and an intensive attack was launched. As a result of the intense attacks, the armored vehicles burned and became scrap. The personnel in the armored vehicle quickly left the scene and hid in nearby houses. Kirpi, a Turkish-made armored vehicle used by the Ukrainian armed forces. It succumbed to Russian attacks and fell into the hands of the Russian army. Here are some images of the Hedgehog vehicle.
Вроде так не заминировано, ничего. Стоит, короче, эвакуационная хуйня.
On the Zaporizhzhia front, Russian reconnaissance drone units detected a Ukrainian armed forces UAV checkpoint. It carefully calculated and recorded the position. Then they reported the coordinates to the attack drone, which set off with powerful ammunition. Temporary deployment points of the Ukrainian armed forces were identified, and one after another all positions were destroyed. Temporary deployment points are strategic and tactical areas that allow the concentration of military units in one area for a certain period of time. Why are they established? Preparation for offensive or defense, logistics and supply, rest and regrouping, communication and command and control, secrecy and protection, drone and intelligence activities. Temporary deployment points are important areas used by military units for critical elements such as operational readiness, resupply, security, and coordination. The armored car was well camouflaged after it was parked, but this was not enough to conceal it. The Russian drones approached slightly from behind the armored car. He thought this was inappropriate and turned around and delivered a powerful blow to the armored car from the front. A Russian FPV drone made a hard landing on a detected bunker and blew it up. Kursk region. A bridge in the village of Kazachya Lokhnya was completely destroyed by the impact of a kamikaze drone loaded with heavy aircraft-type ammunition, followed by an FAB-3000 airstrike. Kharkiv, Kupiansk direction. FPV calculations of the antagonist group are destroying the equipment of the Ukrainian armed forces. Trucks, Bukanka, with or without REBs. They shoot all the vehicles they see. Engineers of the Dnipro military group carry out demining and explosive demining in the Orakovsky direction.
Crews of the 152mm 2S-19 MSTS self-propelled gun of the Air Force Artillery Unit destroyed an AFU stronghold in the border area of the Kursk region. The 2S-19 MSTS is a self-propelled artillery system produced and operated by Russia. It is a mobile platform capable of firing artillery and is designed for both ground targets and long-range firing. The 2S-19 MSTAS is one of Russia's most advanced self-propelled artillery systems and was developed during the late Soviet Union. The 2S-19 MSTAS is capable of rapid fire and massive damage to targets. It is often used to break through enemy defense lines, destroy military bases, or provide long-range support to enemy troops. It typically operates with a crew of 4: commander, gunner, loader, and driver. An 82mm mortar position belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces was detected in the southern lower part of Chasiv Yar. Mortars are regularly fired in this area. Russian reconnaissance drones fly over this area and detect positions. The coordinates are then transmitted to attack drones. As far as I can see in the video, the mortar position is camouflaged and no soldiers are visible in the vicinity. What do you think could be the reason for this? The mortar was destroyed as a result of the FPV drone attack. Fighters of the 34th Separate Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade in the Kursk region are directly hitting positions buried in the ground. These bunkers, which are used as temporary deployments or temporary shelters, become very visible when it snows. This makes them very easy to detect and hit. Although FPV drones cannot cause destructive damage to such bunkers under the ground, we can say that they still cause damage. For example, communication devices may be damaged as a result of the explosion of the FPV drone's ammunition. Footage of the 57th Brigade's breakthrough behind the Ukrainian armed forces in Novoselka. A column of 57th Brigade paratroopers successfully attacked enemy defenses in Novoselka, west of Vremivka, behind Velika Novoselka. One of the Russian tanks broke through the forts and entered the village, landing a paratrooper behind an adjacent unit. The infantry entered the houses and fortified themselves. Fierce clashes continue to take place in Malinovka. Russian FPV drone operators are conducting direct FPV drone strikes on temporary deployment positions. The advantage gained as a result of the attacks has expanded the logistics routes of the Russian troops. Intelligence in the hit positions was seriously damaged. The position of the front line of Russian troops in Ruskoe, Cherkasko, and Poreshnoye has improved, but this is more of a tactical success, because the line of control remained virtually unchanged. A Russian fiber-optic drone destroyed 2 linked tracked all-terrain vehicles used by Ukraine. This tracked vehicle is a Swedish-made BV-206. The crew is not visible in the video. Maybe the tracked all-terrain vehicle was abandoned.